Good morning. We're going to begin with a song and then move into some prayer, okay? And so just give yourself a breath, settle back, and just allow these words to find a way and a space in.
Love bears all things. Love believes all things. Love hopes all things and endures all things. Love never fails. Love never fails. Love never fails. Love bears all things. Love believes all things. Love hopes all things and endures all things. Love never fails. Love never fails. Love never fails. Love bears all things. Love believes all things. Love hopes all things and endures all things. Love never fails. Love never fails. Love never fails. Love never fails. Love never fails.
So we're using a book this semester for a book study here at the Well called The Wisdom Jesus. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. But I was reminded this past week in the chapter we covered of something Gail Ward-Cello told me years ago in a lecture she did here at the Well. And she talked about 9 historical moments in the life of Jesus and how they were mystical moments and universal moments. And so I remember being particularly drawn to, let me give you an example first. Like, so she would say that when Jesus knew himself as beloved at his baptism, that was a historical moment. It was also a mystical moment of his knowing who he truly was in God and God in him. And it was a moment that the universe knew itself as soaked in love. Okay, so then she talked about the harrowing of hell, and she talked about how he descended into the places that felt dark and loveless and sat in love within those constrictions without dissolving the constriction. Like, so he sat there without any intention except to sit in love. So in this book, the Wisdom Jesus, Cynthia Brujol, speaks about this. She calls it the mythology of the harrowing of hell. And so she says that a huge personal breakthrough in my own understanding of what this harrowing of hell mythology really is about occurred while unexpectedly in the midst of a discussion with a student a few years ago. A tender-hearted soul, she had seen the movie Cold Mountain the night before and had been severely disturbed by the human atrocities portrayed there. After lying awake all that night, she arrived in class in a very distressed state and said, "How could this darkness exist? And how can we remove this darkness from the planet?" Who might be feeling like that now? I mean, right? You turn on the news, flip through your phone, news about destruction from unprecedented storms are a daily occurrence, not to mention what's happening in our political arena. And so in that moment, Cynthia heard herself say, "Don't you see that by judging it, you only make it worse? By trying to stop the black, to make it white, all good? By saying that this is what we can accept and this we must reject, you keep empowering the cycle of polarization that creates the problem in the first place." By saying this is what we can accept and this we must reject, we keep empowering the cycle of polarization that creates the problem in the first place. And I think this has always been the fatal trap in the God is Light roadmap. The orientation that cleaves to the light by trying to deny or reject the shadow. It only winds up empowering the shadow and deepening it. The resolution doesn't lie in collapsing the tension of the opposites by canceling one of them. Something has to go deeper, something that can hold them both. So Jesus descended into hell, and he just sat there, surrounded by the darkest, deepest, and most alienated and most constricted states of pain consciousness, and he sat there in love. And so I want you to remember in this moment what has been most disturbing on your heart. What is the darkness you've been encountering as you flip on the news, as you read the paper? Or maybe it's personal in your own life that you're experiencing a dark night. And as you gently close your eyes and sink into that place where the Christ consciousness exists in you, ask to hold that darkness in love. The goal isn't to change the situation or collapse it. The goal is to be a witness of love in love. If it seems trivial or ridiculous, this idea of holding love in the spaces of darkness and constriction, remember the moment when the Vatican came down on the women religious across our country, and remember the response. The response was not to serve the Vatican the same energy that was served to the sisters. They sat in prayer and love and returned a response that made a difference, that enlivened the laity, that reinforced the sisters' mission, that caused the whole investigation to collapse. This is no small thing I'm inviting. The power of love changes everything.
Love, love bears all things. Love believes all things. Love hopes all things and endures all things. Love never fails. Love never fails. Love never fails. Love bears all things. Love believes all things. Love hopes all things and endures all things. Love never fails. Love never fails. Love never fails. Love never fails. Love never fails.
And so I invite you to choose a situation and sit with it in love every day this week. And just let the Spirit have its way, the Spirit of love. Amen.
Thanks, Bridget. Have a good week.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Bridget.